So, jewellery remodelling, is it worth it? Now, it's a question that comes up from time to time here at Legacy, and it's a discussion usually with a client about the financial investment they're considering making in having a piece of jewellery created from old or inherited pieces versus the end value of the completed piece. And for many ladies, that is an important question, and it helps them decide ultimately whether to go ahead with their legacy piece or not. So thought we'd just address that, but before we get into the nitty-gritty of whether it's going to be worth it financially, it's important to make sure we're comparing eggs with eggs and apples with apples and understanding what that worth is, what that value is, because there are various ways to determine the value of jewellery. The first, and the one that we use here at Legacy, is insurance replacement value. So effectively, the amount you would need to insure your jewellery for in order to replace it like for like should the worst happen. So your jewellery is lost, stolen or damaged. So it's the value in that sense and how much you would have to spend to replicate that piece of jewellery exactly. So taking into account the quality of the diamonds, the gemstones and the craftsmanship, taking all of that into account. So there are, of course, other ways of valuing jewellery. You could measure value in selling a piece of jewellery. That's more difficult because ultimately a piece is worth, I suppose, what someone is actually prepared to pay for it. A jeweller who specialises in second-hand jewellery, for example, may offer you an amount to buy your item, or they may offer to sell it on your behalf for a commission. And of course there's scrap value, so there's all these shops, isn't there, on the high street where you can go and sell your gold and other precious metals, so that's a different value. And then there are other values such as a value for probate or for other legal reasons such as divorce and assessing the value of assets. But for the purpose of determining whether remodelling or jewellery is worth it, we are going to be talking about the insurance replacement value. So let's look at investment versus value. For those with a collection of old, important and inherited pieces, creating a grand and impressive legacy design can be a significant investment. Some of our large and hugely impressive ring designs can cost upwards of £4,000. Understanding that your investment is financially worthwhile can be hugely important. Combining smaller historic pieces into one magnificent handcrafted piece can often result in a piece that's worth more financially than the individual pieces combined. So let's explore some examples of costs versus value. For many, having this assurance makes the investment feel sound. But what about when you have emotionally important jewellery, but the financials are not sound? What happens then when you have gemstones that don't have any particular significant value and the cost to create a new design outweighs the insurance value of the completed piece? And we see it fairly often here at Legacy when a client has hugely important and sentimental jewellery set with semi-precious gemstones, but the emotional worth of their remodelling journey, it completely eclipses the financial worth. The emotion is important to them. It's when the heart overrules the head. And here at Legacy, if we have concerns over the financials and doubts over whether a project is financially worth it, we will raise this with you and ensure you have all the information you need to make an informed decision. Some ladies choose to add in additional diamonds or precious gemstones to boost the value of their completed piece. Others choose to go ahead because it is too important to them not to. Wearing a piece that incorporates, for example, mum's and grandma's jewellery, to them is more important than the financial calculation of numbers. So we'll always advise you honestly, helping you decide whether your investment matches the expected financial worth. So, jewellery remodelling, is it worth it? Well, I think it's a very personal decision, and I also believe it's a delicate balance of emotional need versus the financial investment. Only you can know if it's right for you. But I've hopefully helped you explore the emotional connection you might have with your older inherited jewellery and understand the financial investment versus the potential value of a legacy piece. And hopefully, armed with all that information, you'll be able to make an informed decision about whether this is right for you. If you have any specific questions, then please don't hesitate. Get in touch with the team and we can help.